Daniel Hughes. Today we'll be presenting on how to play tennis. There's many fundamentals whenever we start playing tennis. There's a lot of emotions that it goes into the sport. It's a very intense sport, especially on cardio wise. So it does take a little bit conditioning here and there regarding into how we're gonna perform this as a class. So for today, we're gonna start with the basics. Some of the basics of how to play tennis overall. It starts on how to serve. This basically begins at every point of the game. This is starting behind the baseline. The baseline will be on the very back of the court, the last line. There'll be it's always performed in there. It's used to the upside. So basically, what we had to do when serving is we try to get the ball from with our racket to the other side of the service box. While doing that, we can't be too rigid whenever it comes to, especially in playing tennis. It's a full body sport, and especially in using too much of a, being too rigid on our emotions. It creates a lot of it creates a lot of injury to our muscles, a lot of tension. So for this, it is recommended to avoid to have a tense body. Just gotta be relaxed. You can't. A lot of mistakes that everybody does is that you get the squared up body like that, and then to kind of be rigid whenever they make that motion. It's something that we need to get away from. For this one, you basically need to use your body. The main thing is to carefully place it. The main factor to have when I'm making the serve is to put the ball on top over our right shoulder, and then meet the ball at the highest point, which would be basically extending your shoulder, taking your arm, putting your arm back, your body, kind of twisting your body, and then putting the force in it will turn in your whole body to make the swing. For that one, the contact needs to be right over the left shoulder, so we're turning our body like this. This will be the baseline. The body's like this. We hold the ball, a racket on the right hand. It depends on if you're lefty or righty. In my case, I'm a righty, so we're gonna take the ball placement. We're gonna do it here right over the top of our left shoulder. We're gonna get it here on top, and then with our right on the racket, we're gonna meet the ball right here. When it comes to serving, it's a lot of timing. So whenever we do this, we get the ball over our left shoulder. We meet the ball here with the racket. We bring our left. You see how I'm turning my body. We do this. We meet it. We try to get it to the opposite of the service box. Another vital thing while playing tennis is the hitting forehands. So basically, forehands will be this type of hit whenever we're trying to basically, like I said, we determine the side of our body first, our dominant sides. Like I said, for me being a righty, basically will be for me hitting like this whenever we're trying to hit the ball. For this one, for forehands, another type of stroke that will be a ground stroke. So basically for that, it's while being on the baseline, when performing forehands, it could either be done on the baseline, or it could be in the service line, which will be in the middle of your side of the court. So for this, you could perform the ground, and this one will be a ground stroke. This is basically where you let the ball bounce before you actually make contact with it. This on the side of the court, it could like I said, it could be either be done here on the baseline, which would be on the very back, or it could be on the service line. This hit is determined by the bounce of the ball. It could either be on this, like I said, on the service line, or on the very back. For this one, and basically depending on where the ball lands. So for that, you could either you could just step forward to meet where the ball is to make your hit. On this motion, it's very popular for people to just use their arm and just put a lot of pressure on their elbow while extending to this. And that's a common mistake. A thing that you should do is just do a swing. Use your body and make the swing. It depends how much force you're trying to put into it, especially if you're on the baseline. It's a little more a thing. But for that, you still have to turn your hips. You have to plant your feet, square them up. As soon as you have a good motion on it, you do this. You kind of just step your front leg, which will be my dominant side will be my right leg. So just do this, and then turn your body into it. That will create a better swing. It creates consistency. For that, you do it like that, and then we don't put a lot of pressure on our joints. But on this case, will be the shoulder. The vertical swing will be to finish at our contact point. So contact point will basically be where that first bounce is. So if the ball is coming to me this way and the ball is right here, and when I make the swing, this would be the contact point. So for this, on the swing, we always try to finish above our contact point. So let's say we make the contact point right here. Our full swing has to be above it in order to maintain, to create a good hit, and for us to be able to control where the ball goes to. So basically, like I said, for that one, whenever we reach a contact point, we go here. We try to keep our dominant leg. So whenever we make this step, we hit it, and then our contact point, we just fully swing and just maintaining and turning your hips while we're doing it, and just like that, it will create a more consistent hit, and it reduce a lot of stress in joints. Hitting backhands. So backhands basically will be like this now. So we were doing forehands like that, and now we're doing backhands. This could be either one hand or two-handed shots. So you could either be done here. On this one, obviously, since it is a little bit different, you're turning, say, compared to the forehands, we were using a right leg to make the plant. Now we're using an opposite leg. So basically, sometimes on this particular thing, you might have to be switching, your hips around. For this, now our plant leg is a left leg. So we could either do this and make the hit, and the same thing. We're gonna be turning our hips, and you're gonna turn the whole body around to make the swing. On that one, it depends on how much force or where you want to try to get the ball for. But you could either be the double-handed swing, or it could just be one. But the same thing, turn your hips and turn your whole body around to be able to make the swing a little bit less on your joints and a little bit smoother release. Like the forehands, it can be done inside the base the service line, which would be in the middle of the court, and the baseline. This, unlike on the forehand that we could be done inside or outside, this is mostly just for the outside, which would be on the baseline, on the line of the very back. Since there's a lot more force put into it, it's a little bit more difficult to be able to reach or have a legal hit inside the opponent's box, because if that tennis ball hits outside that court box from the opponent, it's a point for them. So we're trying to avoid that. We're trying to get the basics on it. So for that, it's better for us to just get the backhander, and it will be from the court, like on the court side. For this one, a common mistake on it that we're trying to avoid, it's for this, we're not trying to just not use anything. We're trying to don't just use your arm. As efficient as someone might be, especially if you're okay with your arm and stuff, you could just everybody can hit a ball. But what we're trying to do is not trying to isolate the arm. For this one, we're trying to make the swing. You use your body to create consistency on the hit itself. So we turn it into it on the two-hander. We could just do the one-hander, which is like that, keeping up a good plant, or with our left leg, which is will be in this case. We do this, turn our hips, turn our body to make a better hit. For this one, it is very vital since it's kind of a longer hit and stuff. We're trying to see where the ball goes, have a little more control on it. So we had to, is emphasize for us to turn your whole body around. So from here, we get the same thing. Contact point will be right here. We make contact with the ball where it will be right here. So we're trying to get a full extension, or we're just trying to reach like that. We're turning your whole body to get a better hit on the back end. This one will be hitting volleys. So this is a shot in tennis where it's basically the attack mode of you're trying to put pressure on your opponent. You know, you've been in a long match and you see your opponent showing some signs of weakness. You know, it's kind of they're getting tired and stuff. So this is basically the form of attack. This move is typically be done inside the net, not inside the net, but closer to the net. So, but the net being here, for this, we're trying to use the same thing. It will be our forehand. So from here, we're trying to use the same thing. Our plant leg, same thing. This could be adjusted a little bit less because for this, let's say if we meet the ball right here. We're trying to get, we don't necessarily have to get a parallel, you know, like as long as we get a good stance for that. And the same thing, we starting to use our body. We're starting to use our body to create consistency on our, that's the main thing we're trying to do on every hit. Make consistency, use our body to prevent any type of injuries, you know, or make stress on our body. We're trying to be relaxed while we play. So in here, the main thing we're trying to do is up close to the net. And we're trying to hit the ball before it hits the floor on our side of the court. So if the ball's coming, and when an opponent's throwing the ball here, and it bounces to me, it's on my way to me, I'm trying to hit it before it touches my side of the court. So for that, I'm trying to meet the ball right in front of the court, the net. We're trying to hit it, and while we're trying to hit it, we're still chaining the same technique. We're still turning, we're still doing this. We're still turning our body. We're not just emphasizing our arm. We're turning. We're adjusting to where we need to hit. That way we don't. We make our opponent feel attack and create a sense of urgency for them to, because it gives them less time to react. So this is why this move is kind of known as the attack mode on it. Because we were trying to give our opponent less time that we can for them to react, so we could be able to keep them on their toes. Keep in mind the response time as to them is shortened is the same to us. So many players while we're doing this move, they have the tendency of getting antsy, getting tired themselves. So sometimes, you know, your body does tense up as well. You know, if you're trying to, you know, your body reacts how you think. So if we try to do this all the time, you know, we're putting more force. The one thing that I did add here, we're trying to redirect energy, not add energy. Because as long as the motion, that the energy that the ball is coming with us, what we're trying to do is keep that same energy, have a soft touch. As long as we have a soft touch to make a direction where we wanted to have a direction where the ball is gonna go. So we're trying to put that ball on a direction where our opponent does not really expect it, but has to get there in a quick time to just tire them out. That eventually could lead you to the win on a match. So we're trying to do the we're trying to hit the ball. And so we're just trying to get it relaxed. We're trying to put tension on them, not on us, because if we put it on us, we start being a little more. We start getting tight. So your body starts getting tight. So you start adding power to it, you know, and it just makes it go everywhere. And since you're being closer to the net as it is, you know, there's not a lot of space that you could work with when you put that much of power. One thing that is recommended when we're doing this is to stay on the edge of your body. You stay on your toes, mostly, you know, stay light, be able to create spacing for yourself to be able to move around and have a good technique on it. Just relax and breathe. Stand in front of the edge of your body. Just stay calm while doing this. That way you could be able to redirect where you want the ball to go and create more opportunities for yourself. And that will be it. Tennis, it is, like I said, it's a very active sport. Everybody could do it. There's no necessarily any restrictions. I know we have somebody in class, that has some issues and stuff, when it comes to breathing, but as of today, we're just trying to focus on the form and techniques. So we don't have no restrictions for anybody today. We're gonna go out there and everybody's gonna get the racket. We're gonna start practicing our forehands, our backhanders, and our volleys to get a better feel of it, and that way we could just start practicing on our body, on our posture, our body, and our footwork. That's main things that we're trying to focus on today, and hope you guys